Colored content exclusive.
Hi everyone, it's Victoria. I'm here with Shaun Mathis, the creator of Threesome.
How's it going, everyone?
It's cool. So I have some questions to ask you.
Okay.
All right. So what inspired you to create the web series Threesome?
Several things. The first, hip hop music. A lot of my writing I get from listening to music, and there was a Future. Well, specifically, there was a Future song. Same time I think it was, and he says he got two bad women at the same damn time. And when I listen to a lot of rap music, they always talk about having multiple women, but you never see them actually in a relationship with multiple women. So I thought, could it actually work? The second reason is it is kind of what me and my girlfriend went through on our journey. So I kind of took some of our experiences and created the series around that. So that was the inspiration behind it.
That's totally interesting, and it kind of goes into the next question. The story grapples a taboo subject, sex and polygamy. Why did you choose to target those two subjects?
Because, in society, but especially the African American community, sex and polygamy is so taboo. Like, oh, we don't do that, or oh, we don't talk about that, and Bible this and wrong that. But in my own personal experience, I realized that not everyone, loves the same or wants the same. And myself, I went through, years of figuring out, why do I feel this way? Why do I yearn for that type of relationship? Something must be wrong with me. And it's like I had to realize that it's not me. And talking to a lot of people on Instagram and Facebook, there are hundreds of African American polygamous couples, as far as thousands of polygamous couples, period, in the U.S. And it's really not as taboo as we make it seem. We put so much taboo on it. And it's really not. The sex part is a secondary part of it. I wanted to focus more on the polygamy part of it because personally, I feel that you do have the ability to love and be in love with more than one person. And if you choose to get away from what society says to do and what religion says do and do what's right for you, in some instances, case by case, it can work.
It can work from your experience, obviously.
Yes, and I think the best way to showcase that would be through comedy. I found that people will have better conversations laughing at something, and the lines of communication or the minds are opened up a little more when you're laughing through something, when you're watching something that makes you feel good. People are more inclined to talk about it, what do you think? So that's why I chose to focus on those two aspects.
How are fans responding to the series so far? I mean, I see that you have a whole bunch of people viewing it.
Yes.
But how are they responding? What are they saying? What are you getting in comments and stuff like that?
The main comment that we get is that it's too short.
Yeah. But it's a web series.
Yes.
So
people do not understand that they want more, which is great because they're really liking the show. But we get a lot of comments from people that are in the lifestyle, and they like how honest it was and how I didn't make the community seem like sex crazed swingers and hippies. Like it was honest, and people like the honesty of it and the realness of it. Like, you have these two everyday people going through this situation. It's believable, but most of all, we get that we represented the community very well.
So it was authentic, where people didn't feel like you were just kind of pigeonholing them into one kind of mindset or kind of an ideal of what other people think.
Correct. So
okay,
we probably got maybe one or two hardcore, Christian going to hell comments, but out of the thousands that we got, they've all been very, very positive and supportive.
I mean, and you know, and that's what you want. You want people to think, you want obviously positive. And I think people are open to so many different things now, where before it probably would have been way more quote unquote taboo than today, where you see a lot of shows on different networks about polygamy and how it works. Like a show like Sister Wives.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I watch that show sometimes. So yeah, where people kind of see that as a kind of a norm, and that works for that family.
Right.
So you know, there's a lot of people who are really engaging with the series. What is the biggest message you want people to gain from the series?
The biggest message that I want is just to understand and respect someone else's lifestyle. You might not have to like it. You might not have to totally agree with it, but at the end of the day, we're all people. And just like I may love pizza, you may love cheeseburgers, people can love in different ways. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that they're crazy people. It doesn't mean that they're, you know, ungodly or against God. It's just that, you know, love is a person by person, case by case basis. And I just want people to respect that. I can't make you accept it. I can't make you like it, but I want to help you just respect someone else's differences. I really believe that if everyone just respected what other people do, we would have a lot less of the conflict and a lot less of the issues that we have if we respect it, as opposed to trying to convert someone your way. Like the whole concept of the show is not, we're not trying to convince you to go out and do it. No, we're trying to say that this works for some people and just respect that. That's all.
Yeah. So you want people to respect the life, what you said, quote unquote lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And you know, you're not trying to convert any people, but entertain people too. You know, you have a topic, you have a story. People can obviously speak to what they know, and you're telling this story the way you feel is true.
Absolutely.
So how did you get started? I mean, it's really a cool show in terms of production value. How did you get started working in film?
Oh man, I moved to Atlanta in 2010 to get into film, and I've interned with a bunch of different production companies, Studio 11 Films, I Am Cinema, Shell Star, CLRED Media. I worked with a guy named Ralph Wilcox down in Colquitt, Georgia. Just really interning at different places and learning the how production works, because I'm a writer first and foremost. But what I ran into was, hey, I'm a writer, and they're like, well, what have you done? And I show them a stack of scripts, and it's like, you have anything produced? So I had to get into the whole production part of it. So with the different people that I met at different production companies, just built a team, and we got some really good people on board to be able to deliver a quality project in terms of, you know, how it looks, how it sounds, and things of that nature. So I just got started interning and, you know, just had an idea and just knowing how to execute it.
Yeah, I think obviously that's important. So I guess that rolls kind of can piggyback into the next question. What advice would you give to aspiring media makers?
The advice I would give is, do you, whatever you want to do, whatever you're good at, you do it in your own unique way. So don't conform to what Tyler Perry does, or don't try to go and do what Will Packer does. Do it your way, but at the same time, learn your craft. Like, I didn't just jump into directing. I had to intern, I had to learn, I had to read books, I had to go to classes. When it came to producing, I had to do the same thing. With writing, I had to do the same thing. So if you want to do media and work in media, any aspect, learn it. Just don't pick up a camera and say, hey, I'm a filmmaker, and put out subpar projects.
Okay, so yeah, learn your craft.
Learn your craft, definitely.
Learn your craft. That's the most important thing, you feel?
Yes. Gotcha.
So recently, a lot of people address diversity in media, kind of with Oscar So White. I mean, it wasn't that recent, but it was recent enough. And it's one of the questions, especially because I'm building a network for Black media makers.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, and I'm asking this question, kind of polling everyone, how could we increase diversity in media? We as a people, we as media makers, we as creatives, we as influencers help others.
I think by putting out great content that shows our range. When I watch stuff on, YouTube or on Netflix, when it comes to African American stuff, it's either Christian relationships or gangster stuff. But that's not all we are. We need to do action, we need to do drama, we need to do thriller, and it has to be a great body of work. If we show our range and we put out projects that are great bodies of work, it sounds good, it looks good, it's shot well, it's written well, the actors are great, that will say, they do have more. There is more to them than gangster films. There's more to them than baby mama films or faith-based projects. We got to show our range and we have to be diverse in the content that we put forward.
Do you think the audience is there?
Absolutely.
A lot of people like these. I'm just filling in what you said: baby mama shows and gangster shows and whatever. So, is there really an audience there for that?
My opinion is here's the gift and the curse about Black media. We love to see ourselves on TV, so we're going to gravitate and support what we see. The problem is that's all that's being put out, and that's all we have. So we're going to flock to it. I definitely think that there's an audience there to broaden the type of content that we put out. So if I gave a show like Modern Family, but it was done the exact same way, great acting, great storyline, great comedy, but it's all Black, we definitely support it. Look at Black. But why can't we do a drama like Suits on USA that's a predominantly Black cast? Why can't we do a show like Necessary Roughness or Psych or Monk with African American actors and writers? I mean, look at Scandal. Scandal. We didn't. They said
totally take it from the basic thought process or even the tropes that we kind of usually have. So that's interesting.
Right. So there's definitely an audience there if we put it out. But if all we're doing is the gangster, if all we're doing is the ratchet reality, that's all they're going to think we want because that's all anyone is doing. So it's up to us to change that and put out diverse content.
Okay. I mean, I totally agree. I think it's not just one way, but I think that could totally add. So having those opportunities of people who do create content, they need to create content that's diverse. So I totally agree with that.
Coolness.
So the last question I have for you, you also released another web series, or your team did, Rich Brothers, right?
Yes.
I got that right. What else can we expect next from you and your team?
Me and my team, we are right now in post-production of our first feature film.
Ooh.
Which is called The Plug. That will be out in July. I'm actually following up my second film with 2 Chainz' management studio, Street Execs. I did a film with them last year, and I wrote the second film that we're producing now. And at the end of the year, I'll be working on my 3rd feature. So this year, our goal was to put out 3 feature films in different genres. And in between that, we're also doing a docuseries as well. So that's what my team and I are working on.
That's really cool. So where can people find you if they want to find all this great content, because you're going to be coming out with stuff so quickly? Where can they go?
Right. The best way to follow me is going to be on Instagram. Which is at filmmaker_Shaun Mathis. Threesome, Rich Brothers, and a lot of our music videos that we shoot are available on our YouTube channel, which is Laconic TV, LACONIC TV. The plug, not quite sure yet because we do have some distribution offers, so that may not end up on our YouTube channel, but more details will come as we get closer to wrapping up that stuff. But everything else is going to be Instagram and YouTube.
Instagram and YouTube. Everyone check it out. I will make sure that I plug it too on my site in this, the description, so you can click it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Victoria, for having me. It was a pleasure.